The neutral space station orbits a distant, unremarkable star, but its significance is far from ordinary. It serves as a bustling hub where alien species from all corners of the galaxy converge for diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange. Its halls are a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and textures. Vibrant banners flutter with alien sigils, while markets overflow with exotic goods and tantalizing aromas. Here, beings of all shapes and sizes negotiate and barter, their voices creating a low hum that reverberates throughout the cavernous spaces. This place is a meeting ground, a fragile peacekeeper, where species that might otherwise be enemies exchange pleasantries and customs. Among them, the humans, recent arrivals to the galactic stage, are still learning to navigate this complex web of interstellar relations, their presence small and humble amid the grandiosity of alien delegations. Luna, a bright-eyed 10-year-old, steps lightly through the crowded marketplace, her gaze wide and curious. The daughter of a human diplomat stationed here, she has spent her short life moving between worlds, but never has she seen anything quite like this. Every corner is a new discovery, each stall an invitation to explore. Her small hand tightens around a pouch filled with the few credits her father had given her, and her face lights up as she spots an alien merchant surrounded by a dazzling array of trinkets and oddities. With her heart pounding in excitement, she weaves through the crowd, her steps quick and purposeful, eager to see what treasures this strange new world has to offer. The merchant, a scaly creature with 6 eyes and a sly grin, notices Luna's approach. His long fingers tap against the table as he assesses this small human with a mixture of curiosity and amusement. He's seen many like her, the children of diplomats, soldiers, traders, all wide-eyed and eager, but this one seems particularly naive, even for a human. With a chuckle, he reaches into a box and pulls out a small, cylindrical object, a relic he'd found in a forgotten corner of a distant starship. He presents it to her with a flourish, calling it a toy, a relic from some obscure culture. Luna's eyes widen, and she takes it with both hands, examining the strange engravings on its surface. A few aliens nearby watch this exchange with bemusement, their laughter barely concealed. They see the vendor's trick for what it is, a ploy to make a quick sale to a human child, an easy mark in their eyes. The vendor winks at them, playing to the crowd as he explains, in a mock-serious tone, that the object is a lightsaber, once used by great warriors. The nearby aliens laugh openly now. To them, it's nothing but a broken relic, a non-functional piece of junk that some naive human will now parade around as a mighty weapon. Luna doesn't notice the laughter, or if she does, she chooses to ignore it. She is too fascinated by that toy, in her hands, imagining all sorts of adventures where she is a brave warrior, exploring distant worlds, facing great challenges. The vendor watches her, still smiling, but his smile is tinged with the condescension many aliens feel toward humans. To them, humans are newcomers, untested and unworthy, simple creatures barely understanding the vast complexities of the galaxy. Throughout the station, this sentiment is pervasive. Many inhabitants see humans as little more than children playing at adult games, incapable of real strength or strategic insight. They are considered weak and naive, too trusting, too eager to please. The station's corridors buzz with gossip and jokes at their expense, little barbs and jabs that echoed the prevailing attitude. Humans, for all their bravado, are simply not a species to be taken seriously. Luna grips the lightsaber tightly, feeling its cool metal against her palm as she swings it through the air, mimicking the moves of a hero from her favorite stories. She dances around, imagining herself in battle, facing down fierce enemies and protecting innocent lives. The other children, human and alien alike, gather around to watch, some with genuine interest, others with mocking grins. Luna doesn't care. In her mind, she is unstoppable, wielding a weapon of great power, even if everyone else sees it as nothing more than a harmless plaything. She twirls and thrusts, her face lit with joy and determination, her imagination transforming the ordinary market square into a battlefield of epic proportions. Unseen by the crowd, the lightsaber emits a faint, almost imperceptible hum, growing slightly stronger with each swing. Luna notices the vibration, a soft pulse that seems to respond to her touch. She pauses, her brow furrowing in curiosity. She feels the handle warming in her grip, and for a moment, it's as if the lightsaber is alive, sensing her movements, reacting to her emotions. The aliens around her continue to snicker, dismissing her actions as childish play, oblivious to the subtle change in the air. Luna senses something different, something more, but she can't quite put it into words. She shakes off the feeling, deciding it's just her imagination playing tricks on her, and continues her game, unaware that the toy in her hands is beginning to awaken. Suddenly, a flicker of light catches Luna's eye. The lightsaber projects a small, flickering hologram into the air, a figure speaking in a language she cannot understand. The voice is low and urgent, its tone unmistakably serious. Luna steps back, startled, her eyes wide with both fear and fascination. She glances around, but no one else seems to notice. They're still too busy laughing or ignoring her altogether. She turns her attention back to the hologram, trying to decipher the strange symbols that flash across the display. The figure gestures, almost as if it is trying to communicate directly with her. The hologram seems to react to her movements, shifting and changing as she reaches out to touch it. Intrigued, Luna begins to mimic the gestures, watching as the hologram becomes clearer and more detailed. She tries to understand the cryptic messages, feeling a strange connection growing between her and the lightsaber. Her fear slowly turns into curiosity, her heart pounding as she senses that whatever this is, it's more than just a toy. The hologram's voice grows louder, repeating a phrase over and over, and Luna realizes it's trying to guide her, trying to teach her something. She follows its lead, her concentration intense, feeling an unexpected sense of purpose. The lightsaber, once cold and lifeless, now seems warm and vibrant, almost like it's alive in her hand. Meanwhile, on the station, an uneasy calm is disrupted as security officers detect unusual energy signatures just outside the perimeter. They exchange worried glances, double-checking their instruments, but the readings are inconsistent, fluctuating wildly before disappearing altogether. The officers shrug it off as another anomaly, a common occurrence in this part of space, but the tension lingers. A few inhabitants of the station, more sensitive than others, feel a ripple of unease pass through them. Whispers spread quickly, quiet murmurs of something unseen, something approaching. The atmosphere shifts subtly, a sense of anticipation hanging in the air, like the moment before a storm. In the command center, a group of alien officials huddle together, reviewing the latest data. They speak in hushed tones, casting occasional glances toward the humans on the station. There's a mix of amusement and skepticism in their eyes. They've heard rumors, vague and unsubstantiated, about human intentions, but they dismiss them with a wave of their hands. To them, humans are still an enigma, a species too inexperienced and naive to pose any real threat. One official suggests that perhaps the humans are testing some new technology, but the idea is quickly laughed off. Another rolls his eyes, muttering that humans wouldn't know where to begin with something so advanced. The general consensus is clear: whatever's happening, it has nothing to do with the humans, who are still regarded as little more than a curiosity, amusing at best, inconsequential at worst. The air is thick with tension when the first explosions hit. Without warning, a violent blast rocks the space station, sending tremors through its metal bones. Bright flashes of light and deep rumbles of detonations echo through the corridors, cutting through the steady hum of the station's systems. The alarms scream to life, shrill and panicked, signaling imminent danger. Everywhere, alien inhabitants and human delegates alike freeze in shock for a brief moment, then burst into frantic motion. Some run for the emergency exits, others try to shield their loved ones. Screams and shouts mix with the blaring sirens, creating a chaotic, desperate symphony. Hostile alien forces descend upon the station in swift, coordinated waves. Ships with sleek, angular designs breach the station's outer defenses, pouring in troops armed with energy weapons. They move with ruthless efficiency, spreading through the hallways like a dark tide, their purpose clear: take control of this neutral ground. The station's defenders scramble to organize a response, but the attack is so sudden, so unexpected, that confusion reigns. Security personnel shout orders into their comms, trying to form a defense line, but the attackers are already deep within the station's heart, firing upon anyone who gets in their way. The once peaceful hub of interstellar diplomacy is now a war zone, its bright lights dimmed by smoke and debris. Amid the chaos, Luna finds herself frozen, her heart pounding in her chest. The station's bustling marketplace, so full of life moments ago, has erupted into a scene of chaos and fear. She can't make sense of what's happening. One moment, she was playing, and the next, she's caught in a nightmare. Darkness falls over the station as the power flickers and dies, plunging the area into an eerie twilight. Her small frame trembles with terror as she looks around, eyes wide, searching for her parents, for anyone familiar, but all she sees are panicked faces and alien attackers moving closer. Her grip on the lightsaber tightens instinctively, and she feels a strange sensation running through her fingers, a buzzing warmth that spreads through her arm. The hologram flares up again, brighter and more insistent, its voice now clear and urgent, speaking directly to her. She stares at it, confused and scared, but something in its tone compels her to focus. She doesn't understand the words, but their meaning somehow reaches her. Her hand shakes, her thumb accidentally pressing a small, hidden button on the lightsaber's hilt. Suddenly, a brilliant beam of light shoots out, a blade of energy that cuts through the surrounding darkness. The air crackles with its activation, and all eyes, both alien and human, turn toward her. The lightsaber hums with life, vibrating with power, casting a halo of light around her. It's no longer a toy, but a weapon of formidable strength. Gasps echo around the space, and for a moment, everything pauses. The alien attackers hesitate, their eyes wide with disbelief. This human child, the one they had mocked, is holding a weapon that seems ancient and powerful, far beyond what they had imagined possible. Luna's own eyes are wide, her fear now mixed with awe as she realizes the lightsaber is responding to her, almost like it's alive, aware of her thoughts and emotions. She feels a connection, a sense that this weapon is attuned to her somehow, that it is waiting for her to decide what to do next. Instinct takes over. The hologram guides her movements, its gestures clear and deliberate. Luna swings the lightsaber, and the blade cuts through the air with a sharp, sizzling sound. A blast from an alien weapon hurtles toward her, but she moves quickly, deflecting it with a fluid motion. The energy bolt ricochets off the blade, striking a wall harmlessly. More attackers close in, but Luna, driven by a mix of fear and newfound courage, reacts without thinking. She swings again, and again, each movement becoming more precise, more confident. The attackers find themselves thrown off balance, unprepared for this small human to wield such a weapon. Civilians cower behind Luna, and she steps forward, her mind sharpening with determination. She moves with a grace she never knew she had, parrying blasts and creating a protective barrier around those behind her. Her movements are quick, almost reflexive, the lightsaber seeming to guide her hand as much as she controls it. Aliens who had been sneering moments ago now stare in stunned silence, watching as this child defends herself and others with skill and courage that defy their expectations. Each attack she deflects, every step she takes forward, chips away at the assumptions surrounding her. The lightsaber hums in harmony with her heartbeat, and she senses that it draws strength from her resolve. With each swing, each block, Luna begins to realize that she is more than just a frightened child. She is a defender, a protector, standing her ground against the forces that would threaten her and those around her. The aliens, attackers and inhabitants alike see it too, the first spark of respect for the humans beginning to kindle in their eyes. With each passing moment, Luna feels the weight of the lightsaber become less of a burden and more an extension of herself. The hologram continues to guide her, its movements smooth and precise, urging her to parry, strike, and defend. Luna mirrors the gestures, her body moving with growing agility and grace. Every swing of the blade becomes more fluid, every block more deliberate. She senses the ebb and flow of the battle around her, and she begins to anticipate the attacker's movements. Her fear starts to ebb, replaced by a fierce concentration and a newfound confidence. She steps forward into the fray, weaving through the chaos with purpose. The lightsaber hums with energy as it deflects blast after blast, carving out a safe zone around her. Station security, initially scattered and disorganized, notices her efforts. Encouraged by her actions, they begin to regroup, using the path she clears to form a defensive line. Luna keeps moving, pushing the attackers back inch by inch, her focus sharp. Her small frame darts between obstacles, her blade flashing bright as it meets the enemy's weapons. Slowly, the tide of the battle begins to shift. The security forces, inspired by her unexpected bravery, rally behind her, using the openings she's created to press forward, reclaiming sections of the station. The station's inhabitants, who had earlier laughed or looked away, now watch with wide eyes. Luna's movements have become more than just a child's play. They are the actions of a defender with resolve and courage. A few of the onlookers, aliens of various species, begin to murmur in awe. They see the child's focus, the determination in her stance, and realize she is no longer a joke but a symbol of unexpected strength. A human child, wielding a weapon they dismissed as a toy, is holding the line against attackers who outnumber and outgun her. Some of them, feeling a spark of courage, pick up objects, anything they can find, to defend themselves, inspired by Luna's defiance. Others start to join in the fight. A large, reptilian alien grabs a nearby metal rod and stands beside Luna, using it to shield her from a blast. An insected being uses its agility to flank the attackers, creating a distraction. The once divided station inhabitants find themselves united in a common cause, galvanized by this young human's bravery. Luna's actions ripple through the crowd, turning fear into resolve, hesitation into action. Her skill and determination challenge their perceptions, forcing them to reassess what they thought they knew about humans. They begin to believe that perhaps this child is more than they expected, perhaps humans, as a species, are more than anyone believed. On the enemy ship, the alien commander slams his fist against the console, his expression twisted with frustration. He can't comprehend how a single human child, wielding what he believed to be a non-functional relic, is disrupting his carefully planned assault. Reports flood in from his officers, detailing how the child's actions have emboldened the station's defenders, turning what should have been an easy takeover into a prolonged skirmish. He watches the footage on the screen, narrowing his eyes at the sight of Luna's confident stance, her precise movements. He knows he cannot afford to let this continue. His pride stung and his plans unraveling, he barks orders into his comms, demanding a concentrated effort to capture the human child. He doesn't care how it's done. He only knows that the tide must turn back in his favor, and quickly. Luna feels a chill run down her spine as she senses the shift in the attacker's focus. She knows they are coming for her, that they see her as a threat now. Her heart races, fear clawing at her, but she pushes it down. She knows she has no choice but to continue. She glances around at the people relying on her, the eyes watching her with a mixture of hope and fear. Her small hands grip the lightsaber tighter, and she takes a deep breath, steeling herself. She understands the weight of her responsibility, the danger she faces, but she refuses to back down. She remembers the hologram's guidance, the clarity it brought to her movements. Her resolve hardens as she realizes she must protect not just herself but everyone here. She begins to think more strategically, planning her moves, looking for weaknesses in the attacker's formation. She positions herself to cover the most vulnerable areas, guiding others with quick shouts and gestures. Her mind is sharp, focused on the fight, but her heart beats with a fierce determination. She knows she must stand her ground, no matter what comes next. The message from Earth arrives in stark, unembellished terms. "We have no interest in your war, unless you bring it to us." The communication is brief but carries a weight that is impossible to ignore. It's not the response the Galactic Council expected. They had hoped for either an alliance or a refusal, something clear-cut. Instead, they received this calculated ambiguity. Yet beneath the surface of the words, there is a warning, one that ripples through the ranks of the Council and sends a shiver down every spine. It is a warning that Earth will not be drawn into a conflict that does not concern them, but that they will also not hesitate to unleash their might if provoked. The Council's members are split. Some, sensing the gravity of Earth's message, rush to make amends. They send gifts, ambassadors, and promises of support, Troops are dispatched to Earth's solar defense, not out of generosity but fear, an attempt to placate the humans and keep them neutral. Their offerings are grand, meant to curry favor, to show respect, even deference. But it's also clear that these efforts are driven by desperation. They do not understand Earth, nor the full extent of what they might face, and so they grasp at straws, hoping to stave off any potential retaliation. Meanwhile, other factions within the Council move in the opposite direction, covertly arming themselves, preparing for the worst. They gather their fleets, stockpile weapons, and make secret alliances, fearing that Earth might not remain so neutral after all. As the Council debates and scrambles, their unknown enemy watches, sensing an opportunity. This enemy, having remained a shadowy threat on the edges of the galaxy, sees Earth as an easy target, a way to force the Council into submission. They reason that if they can strike Earth quickly and decisively, the Council will have no choice but to surrender to their demands. They see humans as inexperienced, untested in the grand battles of the galaxy, a minor player that can be easily subdued. With this arrogance, they move their fleet towards Earth's solar system, confident in their impending victory. The Council watches in stunned silence as the enemy fleet advances, a mass of warships speeding toward Earth, determined to make an example of them. And then Earth responds. What was once thought to be a passive player in the galaxy reveals its true nature. The moment the enemy fleet crosses a certain threshold, Earth's forces emerge from the shadows. Out of the dark void of space, a vast armada materializes, ships unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen, sleek, ominous, pulsing with strange energy signatures. The enemy hesitates for a split second, but it's already too late. Earth's fleets move with a precision that seems almost preordained. Their ships bend and fold through space, bypassing the normal laws of physics, phasing in and out of reality with a seamlessness that confounds all known technology. The unknown enemy launches their assault, but their weapons are rendered useless before they even fire. Earth's AI-enhanced systems anticipate every move, every tactic, countering with a level of strategy that borders on omniscience. The enemy fleet is decimated in moments. Ships that once filled the expanse of space are reduced to mere debris, scattered like dust in a solar wind. Not a single human ship appears damaged, and the engagement is over before it ever truly began. To those watching, it seems like magic, a trick, something beyond their understanding, yet undeniably real. The Council watches in horror and awe, their earlier perceptions shattered, realizing they have been spared a fate they were unprepared to face. There is a long silence across the galaxy as the debris of the enemy fleet drifts aimlessly. The Council, now painfully aware of Earth's true might, convenes in an emergency session. There are no more divisions, no more factions. All are united in their decision. They agree unanimously never to involve Earth in their conflicts again. They understand now that Earth's neutrality is not an invitation, but a line they should never cross. Their earlier calculations about Earth's power were not just wrong, they were catastrophically misguided. The final message from Earth arrives, cryptic but resolute. Let this be a lesson. Some forces are better left undisturbed. It is a statement, not a threat, but its meaning is clear. Earth has made its point without resorting to needless aggression, showing the galaxy that while they have no desire to conquer, they are more than capable of defending themselves. The Council disperses, members returning to their respective territories, each with the same thought in mind: Earth is not a world to be trifled with. The galaxy, forever changed by this encounter, settles into a new order, one that respects the boundaries set by a planet they once underestimated. And as the stars continue their eternal dance, the lesson of Earth lingers, a quiet, enduring reminder of the power that lies in patience, and the wisdom of knowing when to act and when to remain still.